Hello and welcome to my next Share a Sip. Meet my guest, Brittni from Mission Peak Vineyards. We're going to be sipping on her wine at different areas of the property while we talk about her, the wine, and this property. All right, so let's cheers first.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for coming all this way.
It's Fremont. I'm so excited to be here because, like, Fremont, there's a vineyard.
Yes, as you can see, we're in the vineyard.
Yes. So let's talk about, like, the vineyard, how you got here. Like, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, okay, so my name's Brittni. I'm from Chicago, and there's not a lot of wine in Chicago. So after I moved out to the Bay, I met my now husband, who actually planted this vineyard between 2009 and 2011.
Okay.
So we're sitting in the Pinot Noir Rose. You can see everything's budding, very cute in the springtime. Yeah, and so he had this vineyard, wasn't doing much with it. And when I met him, he only produced one barrel. He had a winemaker up in Napa, and it was a field blend.
Okay, and when did you meet him?
So we met in, oh my God, he's gonna kill me. We met in 2014.
Okay.
Yes, March.
So wine do you produce now?
So we are up to 29 barrels, so a little bit over about 10 tons on average a year. In 2017, I kind of took over.
Okay.
And we only produced one barrel, which was a blend.
Okay.
So we did a cab and a Syrah blend.
Okay.
And then the following year, we only produced 2 barrels. So we had 1 barrel of Pinot and 1 barrel, again, of blend, so another Cabernet and Syrah. In 2018, I decided to add a deer fence. I know people can't see this, but we basically closed off the vineyard.
Okay.
And we found that there were generations of deer that were coming in and decimating our vineyard.
Oh, wow.
So that's why we were only producing so little. And we also had raccoons, coyotes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Coyotes would eat grapes, which didn't know. Saw that with my eyes, just a coyote eating grapes off of our vine in between yipping.
Okay.
So that was very unique. Yeah, and then we added the deer fence, and we went from 2 barrels to 29 barrels.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
Exponentially increased our production.
And then how many acres of vineyard do you have?
So we have a little over about 6.5 planted.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. And then just recently you're able to sell, right?
Yes. So right now we're in 2021. I started the whole process of getting our license, becoming fully licensed and bonded in 2020.
Okay.
So it took almost a year. A little of that was because of COVID and just paperwork and figuring out how to have, property inspections that were basically on Zoom instead of in person. So it's a little bit different than what some other vineyards have gone through. But it almost took us a year, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, so we just bottled about 500 cases of Pinot, including our Rosé. And this is actually the 2020 Rosé.
Nice.
2020 was
They have cool labels.
a challenging year for most vineyards because of the smoke.
Yeah, because it was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Not just Napa and Sonoma.
Yes, we had 3 fires that were pretty close to our property. Luckily, nothing touched our land, which was good. And we did get, our grapes tested and everything came back positive. So positive in a good way.
Good way.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is actually from 2020. So
I helped bottle this too. Well, I think this one.
Yes, you did.
I might have touched it.
Yes, you probably did.
It was fun. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could talk a little bit about the rosé right now, and then we'll go back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm learning. Like, again, I'm from Chicago, so
hey, we're all learning together. This is my whole
process.
idea. Yeah, I've learned so much just from starting the blog. I don't know anything except what still learning.
Yeah.
This is Pinot Noir. Oops, sorry.
Yes, this is a Pinot Noir. So it could have possibly come from the vines that we're sitting in right now. Pinot Noir Rosé.
It is really good. I get strawberry notes more. It has good acidity.
Yes, and we're working with about 13.4% alcohol, so it's a little bit.
So if you guys like to get a little
toasty,
let's go.
Yeah, rosé all summer long.
Just be aware. This is awesome. We have a little bit of cheese to go with it.
Yes,
I'm gonna try it.
I read that soft cheese goes well. We need Carla here.
This actually does balance it well.
It does?
It brings the acidity a little lower.
Good.
Yeah.
It's hard to see with the camera, but we have views of Mission Peak.
Yeah, if you don't, I don't know where you're located if you're watching this, but Mission Peak's a huge hike.
It's iconic
Fremont.
for East Bay.
Exactly. You go hike to that pole and take your photo.
Yeah. I think they say over 1 million people a year hike it.
Yeah, so it's really cool to have wine to go along with it.
Yeah, so if you hike Mission Peak and you look to the north, you can actually see our vineyard.
Okay.
Which is pretty unique. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, as we're going to be talking about the wines, but how can you get them?
Yes, so right now we soft launched on our website, so quietly you can go to missionpeakwine.com. You'll see our wine. We do have a package called the Pinot Noir Trifecta, where you can try a 2018 Pinot, a 2019 Pinot Noir Reserve, and then the 2020 Rosé. So you can try 3 different years of our Pinot Noir grapes.
That's awesome.
So we have that packaged.
And do you ship more?
So we do 40 states right now.
Okay.
We partnered with Vino Shipper,
Okay.
which is a pretty popular winery shipping company. Yeah, I'm the one doing the shipping, so try to get your wine out as fast as possible. Yeah, so it's just through our website. You can also check us out on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. But this rosé I can see by the pool all the time. Yeah, and a barbecue.
Or outside too.
Yeah, it's really nice today. The weather is perfect for this rosé.
Yeah.
It's light and it's dry. Great notes. I love it. All right, so we're gonna walk to another part of the property, talk about a new subject and a new wine. All right, so now we're at our next location here on the property. It's amazing. As you can see, we're at a lake, and we'll be sipping on the 2018 Pinot Noir and the 2019 Reserve. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the lake and your water system before we get into the wine.
Yes, so we're here at the Lake Pavilion. So the water that feeds our lake is actually runoff from Mission Peak. We have the water rights to artesian water springs that come out of the ground, and that's also what feeds our vineyard. If you do stay, we have an Airbnb, so if you stay at our Airbnb, we also purify that water, so you have non-city, artesian water to drink, which is pretty unique for the Bay Area, especially during our drought years. It's 100% ours, which is pretty different.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really a cool fact to factor into the farming too, the vineyard and everything. As you can see, it's probably sounding a little bit windier.
Yes.
This property has great
microclimates.
Yeah,
we're in the areas.
The vineyard's very hot and
hotter, drier.
Yeah. Here it's a little windy, a little breezy. Actually, it's kind of perfect to be by a lake right now.
Yes, for these hot days. Just finished our rosé, so
yes. So Pinot is the grape you grow the most, right?
Yeah. So our vineyard contains about 78 to 80% Pinot. We just planted that Sauvignon Blanc, so we did remove a little bit of the Pinot, but yeah, it's mostly Pinot.
Awesome. Okay, so this 2018 is really good.
Yes.
I get it's a little heavier, which is that's what I like. I don't like it too light. I think you can tell with the color.
Yeah, it is a little bit heavier for the 2018.
But it's still light, body wise. But it's really big. I get cherry notes.
Yeah,
I don't know what. Yeah. It's very red fruit notes popping in your mouth.
your California fruity Pinot.
Yeah, it is really good.
Learning about wines and vineyards and wineries that makes us a little bit unique is that our wine only comes from Fremont. It only comes from our vineyard.
Okay,
So
cool.
we don't outsource any grapes.
Oh, that's amazing.
So 100% us. I have complete control over the maintenance of the vineyard and what we do with that. And I get to see the grapes right now. They're budding to the process of actually being harvested and picked.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You're
they're
true
my
badass.
babies. They're babies. Who would have thought I would be a grape farmer? But here
We're
I
coming
am.
from Chicago.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you swim this lake? Just random question.
You can swim, you can fish. So again, we have an Airbnb. If you just Google Mission Peak Ranch in Fremont, you'll see it. We have pretty good SEO with that. And this lake, you can swim. We do allow our guests to fish. So we have fishing poles. We provide a bait box with big Senko worms, which are perfect for big bass, big mouth bass, or big bass fish. I'm not a fisherman, but we have catfish, bluegill, and 4 sterile koi. And the koi actually help eat the algae in the summer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, going back to everything comes from Fremont.
Yes.
So it's really awesome because, well, I wasn't born, Castro Valley born, but I moved here at 2. So basically I'm born and raised in Fremont.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome having some wine coming from the place where I was raised. I always say that.
Yeah, it's an unusual spot. We're the only, from what I believe, we're the only commercial vineyard now in Fremont. We're actually the San Francisco Bay AVA,
Okay.
so that's also something that's a little unique to our property.
That's awesome. I just love Mission Peak having wine.
Yeah, so if you guys like to hike, and this would be like a Mother's Day.
Yeah, and on your third, well, we're going to go to one more location after we try this wine. But you're going to see this property offers so much. Yeah. So let's cheers to the Pinot, and then we'll go on to the Reserve. All right, so now we're moving on to the 2019 Pinot Noir. Wow, Reserve. I got it. All right, so this one's a little more the traditional Pinot.
Yes. It's a lighter body. We did use about 33% French oak in the production. So you will get some vanilla notes with this.
It's not as, I described it earlier, like in your face with the red notes. Like this one, I think I'm a very like cab lover.
Yes.
So this one I actually prefer better. And she prefers this one better, so...
Yes, and something to consider, too, is that this one is already aged in a bottle for a year.
Yeah, that is true.
So this was bottled on April 16th, so, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
That's cool.
And with the vanilla or the oak properties, it should actually age a little bit more. So if we try this again in 6 months, just something to, like, think about, how it changed.
That's cool. Yeah, this one, like, the red notes are literally, like, bursting in your mouth. Like, it's amazing.
You can smell it.
It's great. A little heavier for the Pinot. But this one, your traditional, like, Pinot. It's a little, like, color-wise, maybe a little heavier. But, very smooth, light body.
Pairs well with the smoked Gouda.
It does. How many cases did you produce of this?
So, for the Reserve, we produced... a little over 100.
Okay.
118 cases.
Okay.
For the 2018 Pinot Noir, we produced about 50 cases.
Okay. And then, what is your favorite wine? Like, just in general.
I would say a Pinot.
Yeah.
A Pinot, yeah. I like my light everyday wine. I like to have wine when I watch TV.
Yeah.
But if I'm having... a nice dinner, I'd probably go with a hashy cab.
Okay.
And then for daytime drinking or like pool weather, hanging out by the lake, I'd go with a rosé. Yeah, like a chilled, nicely chilled rosé.
So since you're like new to the wine world, what's your favorite thing that you've learned since you began?
Favorite thing that I've learned since I began.
Or like what you're most interested in the wine world. So
I feel like my journey has been, different than a lot of people I've talked to that have had wine in their families for generations. So I'm trying to break into the wine industry, not knowing a single thing. And I feel like the most interesting part, I really enjoy the blending moments. So I actually picked what specific barrels went into the reserve. We have another Pinot that we'll be releasing in fall, so probably September, October, called the Swan. And it's just a different type of Pinot Noir variety. I should say clone.
Which is hard to come by, so you should try it.
Yes, and just picking, what goes where and how to balance it, and what I think other people would enjoy. So just the tasting aspect.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I had no idea that how much influence, an American oak barrel had against a French oak barrel and things like that. And it really does make a big difference.
Yeah, the more you drink wine, the more you learn like all the effects and everything that could change the wine.
Yes, and same with farming. Like so much goes into those 6 months of bud break to harvest that I had no idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome. Your Pinots are great.
Thank you.
It's easier when you like it. I mean, obviously you like all your wines that you make. But,
a little biased,
but every winemaker is, or wine. Yeah, owner. Yeah.
Yes.
You have your like ownership, or like you tell the maker.
Well, I think of my situation as not every restaurant owner is also the chef. So, but I would like to start making wine, and we actually have to, which I'd love for you to help.
Stay tuned.
In a couple months, we're gonna have to start making wine here, and again, I know nothing, so we'll see what happens.
Here we're at the lake. There's an Airbnb on the property, which we're going to talk about more on the next location. And we'll be sipping on the last wine that we're going to try.
Yes.
All right, so see you in a sec.
Cheers.
All right, so now we're at our last and final location. We're pretty high up. Do you know the elevation here?
We should be about 1,700 feet.
Yeah, so excuse the wind, but this is cool. Anyway, so this is called the One Tree Hill location. Get it?
On Mission Peak Ranch. We got our One Tree Hill.
It's
great
amazing.
hiking spot.
And I will show a video, but the view that I'm looking at is insane, and it's beautiful. All right, so over here we're going to be sipping on the Red Blend 2018, and we have a little chocolate to go with it. First of all, the smell is amazing. The wind's facing me this time, so like it's like blowing. It's even more amazing.
Yes, and this is our Cabernet and Syrah blend.
So Cab Syrah, do you know the ratio?
It was a fields blend. I believe it's about 50-50, but again, it was blended in the field, so that means when the harvest crew came, they put everything in the same bin.
Okay.
So we don't have an exact percent, and that's one reason why.
Cool. That's actually something new I learned.
Yeah, so you might see red wine on the label. So legally, because we don't know the percent, but that's what we have to put. I would estimate about 50-50.
Oh, cool. Awesome. It is great. The color of this wine is beautiful. It colors like a cat.
Yeah.
So excited. It's fun to swirl too. Okay. Yeah, big red fruits.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit of spice.
That's a Syrah. That's a Syrah.
I like it.
Our Syrah's very...
Her husband is Australian, so like Shiraz, right?
Shiraz.
Yes. So wait, hold on. So last spot we started to mention the Airbnb. So let's talk about the Airbnb here.
Yes. So we have currently one Airbnb. So it was a long-term rental that we renovated. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It has access to our pool. Great spot if you like wine, vineyard access, hiking trails.
Lake, right?
Yeah, you can fish. You can fish at the lake, go canoeing. It's great for families. So that's been something during COVID that a lot of people have enjoyed.
It's like not leaving the bay, but leaving the bay.
It's so close, but as you'll see, I'm sure with the view, you feel like you're almost kind of like a Tahoe feel, but with a little bit of Napa flair with the vineyard. But yeah, it's a different spot. Definitely unique. Less than an hour from San Francisco, about 30 minutes from San Jose. It's just a little hidden gem.
Love it. How do they find your Airbnb?
So you can find our Airbnb by either searching Mission Peak Ranch, Airbnb, or just typing in the 3 words Mission Peak Ranch. It should actually pop up with a link to our website. You can also, if you follow us on Instagram, check out our missionpeakwine.com website, and you'll see a tab for accommodations.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then do you have a minimum of like when you have to stay?
So we do have a 2-night minimum.
Okay.
2 nights.
You definitely want to stay 2 nights.
We have a lot of people that actually extend their stays, which is the biggest compliment. So some people will start with 2 and then extend to like 4 or 5 nights. We do have great internet, surprisingly, 200 megabits per second. We have a microlink tower that we actually added. So, you know, a lot of our neighbors don't have that. So it's just something very, very unique to us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then, so 1 Airbnb for now, maybe more coming up.
1 Airbnb for now that we remodeled. We have a second Airbnb that should be up by, before the end of the year, and that will be dedicated to the vineyard. So it'll have vineyard decor. You'll be able to actually see the vineyard from the windows of the Airbnb, as well as Mission Peak Ranch. It has a wraparound deck that overlooks part of the lake, so it's kind of a cool little treehouse vineyard experience with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
That's awesome.
Fully remodeled.
That's amazing. Yes. It is a great place, and seriously, I could sit here probably all day. She's gonna be like, okay, you can leave now.
A lot of meditation, yes.
For real. I needed it today.
Try the chocolate with
No, I'm going to. Okay, so how many cases did you produce of this one?
About 49 cases. So
Okay.
we're very small, very boutique. Yes. So very, very small quantities.
Oh, that super goes well. What chocolate is this?
So Whole Foods, Fremont. You get a dark chocolate with raspberries.
That pairs really well with our red blend.
Syrah Blend. Yes.
All right, so just to do a little recap. I know it's kind of windy, so
yeah.
So it's Mission Peak Winery or Vineyard. There's an Airbnb on the property.
Yes.
A water source from Mission Peak, right?
Yes, your artesian water that bubbles out of Mission Peak Mountain.
And then anything you want to mention that you also we might have forgotten?
We're just starting as a vineyard and a winery, so we'd love to finalize what our tasting parameters will be, possibly a wine club in the future, and what those perks will be, because we know everyone loves perks. But right now we are closed to the public. We have had some people reach out trying to find our location, so please hold off until we figure out, what exactly we legally can do with the tastings. But I mean, that's it for now, but we have a lot of potential more to come. So.
Seriously, a lot of potential. So make sure you're following them on Instagram, and then keep them updated. And then you can buy their wine on their website. It is delicious and a good variation already, and you just started.
Yes, and we will have a Cabernet and a Syrah coming in September. So we'll be bottling about 75 cases.
Oh, wow.
Before the end of the year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excited.
So a couple more. You'll be able to taste the red blend individually by itself.
Awesome. I love it.
That's all.
All right. So if you have any questions or any information you need, just give either of us a DM. We could connect you. Yeah. And let you know whatever we need or you need. Yeah.
And we might be making wine together.
I know.
Maybe at some point before the end of the year. If anyone wants to see us stomp some grapes.
It was going to be fun. All right. So there's Brittni from Mission Peak Winery. And now cheers. Stay classy.